Boricua, yo fellas, Boricua Posse! Yo fellas, Boricua, yo fellas, Boricua, yo fellas, Boricua Posse! Yo fellas, Boricua, yo fellas, Boricua, yo fellas, Boricua Posse!
Welcome to the downtown studios of Cranford, New Jersey. You are here at the Commissioner's Cove. Alongside of me is my man, Mace Boku, 13th Legion, and I am the Commissioner, Ricky Let Me Down, where we come together and give our fantasy insight, fantasy information, so you guys don't have to. So do me a favor, sit back, relax, drink a little cafecito, smoke a little cigar, drink a little bourbon or your whiskey while you're listening to two distinguished gentlemen talk about fantasy football, which we enjoy to do. This is week number 13.
Gobble, gobble week.
Yes, it is. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody on tomorrow night. Good luck on your games. All right, we're going to talk about who to start, who to sit, who we feel is worthy enough, because these are the final 2 weeks to determine if you're going to make it or you are not. All right, and for all you guys who are not going to make it, do your best to bring along a friend and bring them down so they don't make the playoffs. Nothing feels better when you're not making the playoffs and you throw out a nice game out there.
Misery loves company.
You throw out your best lineup and you bring them along with you. Okay? All right, let's get down to it. Week number 13. Let's talk about these games for tomorrow night, Thursday night. Don't forget, there's 3 games on the docket here.
A good slate of games.
Yes, there is. First game we're going to talk about is the Green Bay Packers of the Detroit Lions. Detroit always gets the to host, as well as Dallas. Lucky them for years, tradition. So let's talk about the Detroit Lions. Okay, this is a pretty tough pass rush with Green Bay. However, I just think the Detroit has too much firepower. That's just my opinion. Jared Goff is a must start out there. Gibbs is he let me tell you, a 50 burger last week. This guy is phenomenal. Don't even think twice. Don't blink. He is a must start. Amon-Ra is a must start. The tight end, Mr. Wright, is not a start. I say you sit the tight end unless you're really hurting. He's not gonna. And J-Mo, for some reason, he disappeared last week after a couple of good weeks. He is, believe it or not, temper expectations. Hate to say that because he has a talent. Thoughts on that?
Yes, I have a thought on that.
Go ahead.
J-Mo is a crapshoot.
Yes, it is. He is a crapshoot. You want to add onto the Packers side of the football here?
Well, I think Jordan Love's playing with a separated shoulder, so you are a left shoulder. It's not his throwing arm. But we also saw how Baker Mayfield's left shoulder injury is preventing him from possibly playing. So don't expect too much from Jordan Love. If you don't have a better choice, obviously you're starting Jordan Love, but temper expectations. I think they're going to rely on the run game, but the run game is up against a pretty good run defense in Detroit.
Yes,
and we don't know by all accounts, Josh Jacobs is going to play, but if he doesn't, whoever is in the backfield, whether it be he or Emmanuel Wilson, I think you have to start either one of them. If Jacobs doesn't play, you're starting Wilson. If he does play, then you're starting Jacobs. Tight ends, no tight ends. No. Sorry. Christian Watson would probably be the only wide receiver that I would have any confidence in. We don't know if Jaden Reed's coming back. Dontavian Wicks and Romeo Doubs, they're like potluck dinner. You don't know what you're going to get.
That's true.
That's really it. On paper, it's a good game. 2 good defenses, 2 playoff caliber teams, but Green Bay's coming in here a little limping.
Yeah, I agree. And last week's, if you watched last week's game, they didn't trust Minnesota's offense. So what they did was to protect Jacobs, they ran the ball a lot. However, I think they're going to be coming from behind. So Love is going to be forced to throw the ball, and we're going to see how injured he is or not.
That's true.
All right. Let's move on to the next game. Is Kansas City at it's playing at the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Cowboys are firing on all cylinders here, man, on their offense. Dak Prescott is playing well, but you're facing a Kansas City Chiefs defense that likes to blitz a lot. However, he is a start based on volume alone because he throws the ball a lot. And Mr. Pickens, I'm not going to sit here and say he's overtook CeeDee Lamb as a wide receiver 1, but man, the last couple of weeks he has been looking like the wide receiver 1 over there. He is a must start out there. He is came up on the injury report, so he's gonna play, but just monitor that. Okay, Thanksgiving. I don't think he's gonna miss this game at all. Prime
No,
time.
He's not going to
No
miss
way.
the game, but this might be one where they feed CD a little bit more.
Yeah.
And have Pickens. I'm not going to say decoy. He's still healthy enough to not be a decoy, but I think that I could see this where they feature a little Ferguson and a little CD a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree. And Javonte Williams out there. Listen, against Kansas City's defense again. We'll see. KC's offense is not playing on all cylinders, and it seems as though
They looked a little off.
yeah, they look a little off. They have no run game whatsoever, so it's like they're focusing.
You know, it's
on
funny
the
you
pass.
say that, and I said the same thing to you. They have no run game, but
No.
you know, you had the ageless one, Kareem Hunt, rush for 100 yards, but it took him 30 carries to do it. So, but
Yeah.
that doesn't constitute as a run game.
No.
We know Dallas's run defense wasn't that good. They, the bye
improved.
week came, they've improved a little bit.
Yeah.
But we'll see. This is still going to come down to the right arm of Pat Mahomes. Let's see if he can get his act together with Rice, Worthy, and Kelsey, who I think those are the only three starters right there.
I agree.
Pacheco
Pacheco might be playing, but
Pacheco might be playing, but I think the only running back, if you have no choice, is Hunt.
I agree with that.
He's still going to get the goal line.
I agree. All right, that's what we have over there with KC. It's pretty self-explanatory. Yeah, everyone's been watching their games. If you have not, then we give you a little inside information.
And then finally, Thursday night, when everyone's half inebriated and
Half in the bag.
in the bag and,
Yeah.
and sleeping because they've been full and they can't even move anymore.
Nope.
And you're popping Alka-Seltzers. You got the game that finishes up the night.
Yes, it is. It's the Bengals at the Ravens. Now, check your weather. Okay, check your weather. It says 7-mile-per-hour winds here.
7, not 70.
It says 7.
Yeah.
7. 36 degrees. A little chilly out there, but that could. Listen, Lamar. It seems like Lamar is a little off these days. It might be still might be nursing his hamstring injury with 36 degrees, with the wind, with the cold weather. Hammies start tightening up. All right. I'm not saying you sit Lamar. You do play Lamar, but you better hope that Lamar is Lamar S or Mr. MVP that he's been last couple of years. He's won you guys championships.
Yeah, well, he's not going to be Lamar-esque.
No.
Lamar-esque is running the ball. He's not going to do that. So you better hope that he can his right arm find some guys besides Zay Flowers, and I think Rashad Bateman's practicing full. He'll probably be playing this week,
Right.
which should help him out. And then also Mark Andrews.
Those are probably the only guys that start out there, and King Henry, you start there because Cincinnati's defense is god awful. So maybe they could try to control the clock. However, on the Cincinnati side of the ball,
Yeah.
Joe Burrow
We have
is
a
back.
return.
Yes, he is. He's back, and he could sling the ball. So we don't know how this game is going to shape out. However, Joe Burrow is going to be out there. If you do have Joe Burrow, if you waited for him, you put him on the IR, and you have nobody else, he is a better option than a guy like Bryce Young. I would start Joe Burrow. Jamar Chase is going to be back. No T. Higgins out there. Yoshivas. I'm not sure. If you're going to go start Yoshivas, you got to temper your expectations in a way.
I agree. I think
Yeah.
the guy there who's got sneaky upside surprise is Gesicki.
Yeah, it's Kitseki. Yeah.
If I remember last year, when T. Higgins wasn't playing Gesicki, with Burrow playing now, he featured Gesicki
Yes,
a lot.
he did. Yes,
I
he
actually lost to a guy named Ricky's Templars in one of my leagues. Gesicki, I believe, scored 2 touchdowns that game, and I lost. So, this is the guy who had him, picked him off the waiver wire, I believe, the week before. So. This might be a repeat of that.
That's a savvy owner right there.
Yeah, it might be.
If Gesicki's on your waiver wire, check it out, please. The co-commissioner is correct. Without T. Higgins, he does feature 2 guys. He likes to throw to Gesicki and he likes to throw to Chase. However, the guy I like to talk about is Chase Brown. With Chase Brown, with Burrow out there, he likes to dump off the ball. I think Chase Brown has a decent game here as well. He is.
Yes, I would normally
He is
agree.
must-
P. Ryan's back. I don't know if you think that impedes his 90% touch rate that he's been having, but before Samaje before he went down, he was splitting with him a little bit more.
I don't think so. I think with Burrow back, I think Chase Brown is the guy you drafted Chase Brown to be. That's in my opinion.
All right.
All right. Next game on the docket here is the Bears.
Now
The
we're on to
Bears.
Sunday.
Yes.
No. This is Friday night. This is Black Friday
Black
game.
Friday. The Bears versus the Eagles. 42 degrees.
So this is when
in
you're finally
Philadelphia.
rolling out of bed at 3:00 in the afternoon. You can watch this game.
Yeah, at 42 degrees over there, 16-mile-per-hour winds. I believe the wind gusts could be a little higher than that. So please check your weather report with the wind gusts if you're going to have the kickers
Yeah.
out there. All right. On the Bears side of the ball, listen, it looks like they're changing other guards for the running backs. DeAndre Swift and Monangai look like they're splitting. Last week, Monangai got more of the carries, especially he is the goal line back over there with the Chicago Bears. So if you need a flex guy and you're really hurting at the running back position, Monangai is not a bad start. I would start him. However, with Philly's stout defensive tackles, it's going to be a little tough, but I still think he runs hard enough if they're close enough, he might get you a touchdown. With a Dunze, I know you own a Dunze. You have a lot of stock in a Dunze. You're very happy. You want him to prosper. However, you want to let the audience know what you told me a couple of days ago.
I forgot what I told you.
So
a couple
what
days
you did-
ago.
what
I'm trying to say, what I tell you about a Dunze is start him. He's your
Plug and pray?
epitome of plug and pray.
All right, plug and pray.
Lately,
And the reason, you said something about Caleb Williams. Could you tell the audience what
Caleb
you said?
Williams has got to stop scrambling around in the pocket. It takes him over 3. He holds onto the ball for more than 3 seconds.
Yes.
All right. So that's an eternity in the NFL. I mean, I think it's one of the highest time to throw rates in the league. He's got escapability, and then he's on the run. He makes stuff up, and then most likely it's either DJ Moore or Zacchaeus that gets the benefit of those made up plays.
Or no. Zacchaeus, let me tell you, Luther Burden took over for Zacchaeus in a slot
Yeah.
position.
Guess what? Zacchaeus still got a few catches last week.
Yeah,
all right?
he does.
So Luther Burden might be having a little bit more involvement, but until next year, Zacchaeus or DJ Moore are not there anymore. Luther Burden, I know he's a hot waiver wire pickup, and everyone wants him to do a little bit more. I just don't see it happening this year. The same way, like he's not featuring Rome. Now there was a couple of touchdowns to DJ Moore last week.
Busted coverage?
No, it wasn't busted coverage. It was one of them where the safety wound up double teaming Rome, and of course DJ had the slot. Basically a skinny post right up the seam, and since let's put this another way too. Caleb really doesn't throw a lot of deep passes.
But that's what you told me the other
Yes,
days ago.
so within 20 yards, that's his game. And Rome, unfortunately, is the odd man out on there. I said the same thing against Minnesota when they played Minnesota, and it was a good matchup on paper. And they were playing man to man, which is usually a good matchup on paper for him. It's just that with Caleb
struggling.
he's
for
not
deep ball.
struggling because but in all accounts he's a fantasy guy. But you want to know something? Caleb to own Caleb is your fantasy guy. But if you want to own Caleb because you want to support a wide receiver, don't count on it this year.
That's fair. And a streaming tight end is Mr. Loveland. He'll get you some points, but he hasn't taken that superstardom step yet. That's what we have over there at the Chicago Bears. And you want to talk about the Eagles offense?
They look good in the first half.
Yeah.
And against Dallas's crappy defense, supposedly, they should have kept it. They kept it going in the second half, but they didn't. It's like something's off on them too. We talked about KC being a little off. I think Philly's a little off. They're so used to running the ball. I think throwing the ball. I think they were a little off last week.
Yeah.
AJ Brown definitely is a must start though.
Yep.
I don't know if Chicago's getting their corners back. They were a couple of banged up corners.
Well,
they
they
might
got
get
Boyd.
back.
They got Boyd. I think he leads the league in interceptions. So, but it doesn't matter. AJ Brown is corner.
But I think
in my opinion.
you start Devontae and you start AJ Brown. You have to start them.
Yep.
Saquon's nursing. They said he was nursing a little groin injury again. I don't know if that has anything to do with I mean, he's not the Saquon of last year, but you're definitely starting him. You're starting Jalen Hurts, and you're starting the 2 wide receivers.
Yep. And what about temper expectations with Goddard?
I don't know if you temper expectations. It's just tight ends.
They don't get utilized, in this offense much. They don't.
No. It might be one of those games where they might utilize him, but you can't be 100% sure against,
I'm saying he's a sit, in my opinion. All right. Next game on the docket is 49ers at the Cleveland Browns. 55 degrees, 34% chance of rain, 16-mile-per-hour winds, which means probably the winds will probably be a little higher. With the Cleveland side of the board, Cleveland side of the ball, Shedeur Sanders is playing. Listen, we all watched the game last week. It wasn't like he was super impressive, whatsoever. He had that one little screen dump-off pass that ran for a touchdown. Everyone went wild. You're going to temper expectations. You're going to start with, I'm saying he's a sit against San Fran's defense, in my opinion, Shedeur. The running back to start over here in Cleveland Browns, Quinshon Judkins nursing a little injury, correct? If you need running back help, Dylan Sampson is the guy out there, and Jerome Ford. What's going on with Jerome Ford?
No, they're not giving Jerome Ford any plays.
Nope.
I don't know how much Quinshon's really banged up. I wouldn't start Dylan Sampson over Quinshon Judkins. But check the injury reports up until game day.
Correct.
This, again, and I want to go back, and this isn't the same San Fran defense either.
No, their middle linebackers are hurt, and they have no pass rush. But however, it's game 2 for Shedeur, and he's starting game 2. So
he's gonna have to show us a little bit more of the downfield passing, though. He did scramble out. Almost remind me of a Caleb play. You scramble out long enough, and then you find a guy. But like I said last week with Caleb, you keep doing that. Eventually, it's going to catch up to you. And that first strip sack fumble safety in the end zone against Caleb last week was the ugly part.
Yeah.
So hopefully, Shedeur, another week under his belt, he becomes a little bit more refined.
So the skill position players out there to start, I'm saying you're going to sit Jerry Jeudy, you're sitting Tillman, and
damn.
Yeah. I don't think he gets them the ball. Listen, he might target them, but it seems as though that he can't get them the ball. He got Jerry Jeudy that one long pass, and then he did a bonehead play and fumbled the ball. But after that, the offense wasn't geared towards the wide receivers. They did try. He tried to double coverage. They got intercepted in there. I don't think he feels comfortable yet. I don't think Stefanski is going to open up the playbook for him. I think they're going to try to run the football, try to get a play or two, and let their defense win the game for them. That being said,
which isn't a bad thing.
It's not. But they want to move the ball down the field a little bit more. I just don't think it's going to happen. The one to start here probably be Fannin. Fannin is the one to start here. And the San Francisco side of the ball, Brock Purdy. Listen, Brock Purdy might be under a lot of pressure in this game because Myles Garrett is coming. He is coming.
Yeah, the invitations have been sent out, and he's coming.
He's coming. All right. So Brock Purdy, listen, you're going to start him. I got to say you got to temper expectations just a little bit on that.
Yes, this isn't Carolina's defense, and they picked them off 3 times. So.
Yep. I'm saying temper expectation with Brock Purdy. Kittle is the one he is a start. Obviously, McCaffrey is a must start. He is a must start. Against this defense, I'm not sure if he's going to give you a 30-burger. I don't think he would, but he is a must start. And Jauan Jennings did not get suspended. He did not. Jennings did not get suspended.
No, and I'm glad he didn't because he was. Yeah. Come on, man.
I know, hit him in the groin. So he's not getting suspended. He's playing. Ricky Pearsall, if you're going to start him, you're going to plug and pray for Ricky Pearsall.
Yeah, it's not like they, it's his first game back and he was just getting reacclimated. No, this is going to be his 3rd full game back, and he didn't do anything the first 2. So
no. So that's what we have over there on that game. The next game on the docket is going to be the Jaguars at the Tennessee Titans. 45 degrees, 47% chance of rain, and not more power winds out of southwest. On the Tennessee side of the ball, Jacksonville has a pretty decent defense. They really do. Cam Ward struggled all year. The one who started, in my opinion.
He looked good last week, though.
But
he did, and it was against a pretty good defense.
Jacksonville is playing for playoff push. They're playing for seeding. They're playing for positioning. So they're going to come and try to get this guy. The wide receiver to start will probably be DK. And the tight end, I don't know. I'm not starting. I'm saying you're sitting the tight end. And then the running backs. I'm saying you're sitting Tony Pollard and temper expectation with Tyjae Spears.
I expected more passes to Tyjae Spears out of the backfield.
They don't throw the ball to the backfield whatsoever.
No, they don't. It's a little disappointing. Yeah. But if I had a running back that I would needed to trust, it would be Tyjae over Pollard.
Yeah.
And and that's about it. I agree. You don't start any of the tight ends, and DK, you're plugging and praying.
Yeah, plug and pray.
And Iron Man, I don't know if he's 100% injured or playing, but he hasn't shown anything the last few weeks.
Nope. And you want to talk about the Jaguars?
Here's another quarterback I get frustrated with. It was Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde last week. 3 interceptions, 3 touchdowns. Which way? I think even from what I've been reading in Jacksonville, the patience is starting to wear thin, It is the 12th game in this new offensive system. You had a preseason, you had training camp. I think you wanted to see a little bit more progression out of Lawrence. That being said, you're definitely going to start him against Tennessee. And you're starting ETN, you're starting Brenton Strange, and now here we come to the wide receivers, and
Both of them you can start, Jacoby Myers and
yeah, I
Parker
think you
Washington.
temper expectations with both of them because
yeah.
I don't think Lawrence can support 2 wide receivers. So I don't know which one is going to get it. It's not like Jacoby Myers is being peppered with targets.
No, but he's getting you enough. He's getting you. He's not going to get you a 0. He'll get you something if you need to play.
Yeah, well,
and
you better pray for a touchdown because other than that, you're probably looking at under 10 points.
fair. That's what we have. All right, next game on dock is the Houston Texans at the Indianapolis Colts in Dome. All right, so Houston
Should be a very interesting game.
Houston, that very good defense, just coming off that big win against the Buffalo Bills, sacking Josh Allen. What was it, 8 times? Indy, Danny Dimes can run out the pockets, but so can Josh Allen. Are they going to keep him in the pocket? They probably will. Is Jonathan Taylor going to run? Is he going to gallop for 3 touchdowns? I'm not sure. You are starting JT.
You are starting JT, and you're hoping for a big run
There
to
you
help you with your stat line. Yes,
And then you're gonna start, with Daniel Jones. Listen, you're gonna start him, but you're gonna temper expectations with this Houston defense against them.
yes. Listen, last week's game, he looked good in the first half, and then in the second half, Spags decided to blitz. If people saw the game, he blitzed a lot more in the second half, and Danny Dimes became a
Nichols?
little ruffled in the backfield.
He became Danny
He
Nichols.
was he had the ghosts of Danny Nichols in his past.
There it is.
Coming back to haunt
It
him.
came back. Welcome back, Danny Nichols.
I think Houston will put a little bit more pressure throughout the entirety of the game, and not just wait till one half.
I agree. Michael Pittman's a must start. Josh Downs is a temper expectations, and Tyler Warren is a start. Even though they have decent linebackers, but maybe they feature the linebackers a little bit more to soften up the defense, and maybe they could throw the ball to Alec Pierce. If you do start Alec Pierce, you better super.
Well, listen, I hope that Indy takes a look and realizes that they and don't forget, you have Tyler Warren here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been
He's
a
an extra
luxury.
blocker.
It's been a luxury for them. He's been an extra blocker, but against a tough Houston defense, maybe getting the ball out a little bit more to Tyler Warren on
Yeah.
short intermediate passes.
Yep.
Maybe that's the key to keep Danny Dimes from fumbling the ball or getting sacked.
Or throwing a pick. We'll see what happens. All right, and the Houston side of the football, I think they get C.J. Stroud. This is a big thing here. They won 3 in a row with Mills. C.J. Stroud comes in, starts holding the ball a little bit more. It's going to be, is it a quarterback controversy? I don't think so, because
No.
I still think this is C.J. Stroud's team, and he does
What are you
have.
trying to stir up crap?
You know how it is. This is a podcast. This is what we do. We stir stuff up.
Nope,
we throw
This
it in
is
there.
C.J. Stroud's
and-
team.
and mix it around, because that's what we do. Create controversy
And I
create
think
content.
And I think you start Stroud confidently.
Yes, if Stroud does
If he
play,
does play.
Nico Collins is obviously going to start him anyway. But he features Nico Collins. He loves him. Higgins was getting the ball more with Mills. We'll see how that goes with C.J. Stroud, because when C.J. Stroud was in the game, he didn't feature Higgins too much. When Mills was in the game, he featured both of them a little bit more, kind of the same way, kind of balanced. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, and don't forget Dalton Schultz.
And don't show us.
Well, he had a bad game the week before, but I think he comes right back.
Right. And then Woody Marks is a start. Okay, temper expectations with Woody Marks. We'll see what they do. Are they going to try to control the game with the ground game? Not sure.
Indy's got a decent defense, but
Yeah.
not anything that overwhelms you and wows you
I
to
think-
be able to stop any one thing. So
Yeah.
it should be a good game.
I think Woody Marks gets you a touchdown this game. That's what I think in the red zone. He got stuff last week. I think he gets you a touchdown in this game. All right, next game on the docket is the Saints at the Miami Dolphins in Miami. 74 degrees.
Who dat?
It's nice weather down there if it doesn't rain. All right. I'll talk about my Dolphins. Against the Saints. Saints, listen, I understand the Saints, they're the Saints, and we call them the Aints. However, their defense, they still got some pass rush. There's some older defensive players on that team. However, Tua is, I think I told you either last week or the week before that, or we talked off the air. Miami switched their offensive philosophy from a passing team to a running team. So I think their offensive line likes to run the ball because they're more pass blockers. They're more run blockers than pass blockers. Achane is a must start. Tua, you better temper expectation with Tua. If you're looking for 325 with 2 touchdowns, you're not going to get it. Waddle is a must start. And if they get Darren Waller back, and if he does play, he is a streaming tight end. Yes, and there is no other wide receivers to play with that team. That's me. I know the Dolphins. Trust me.
Yeah.
All right. Anything to say in Miami?
No, I
right.
did. There are no other wide receivers that I
Nope.
would start. And if they're in close, Darren Waller is a big target. So
Yep.
we saw that already. What he had 3 touchdowns in 2 games.
That's right.
Something like that.
And
So
I think he does. And let me tell you, Miami's fighting for a playoff push. They're doing their best they can to keep creeping up the standings, and they're not just going to lay down. They're going to do the best they can. But
they're playing at home. I think that has something to do
The-
with
the-
it.
their bread and butter-
The Saints.
hey, listen, they're a football team. Anybody could be beat any given Sunday, any given Thursday, any given Black Friday, any given Monday, any given day they can be beat. That being said, Miami is going to run the ball. Achane is going to eat all day.
Okay.
And with the Saints,
Taysom Hill all the way.
I can't believe
Because
this guy.
I don't know what else to say. You have Devin Neal, but let's put Taysom Hill in the background.
It's
in the back.
horrible.
Let's put
35
him
years old.
Let's put him at quarterback. Let's put him at fullback. Let's put him at running back. Let's put him at wide receiver. Let's put him at tight end.
Horrible.
I think he plays every position on the field.
All right, let's
Good for him.
Let's talk about the Saints. Jawan Jennings probably the one to start.
Johnson.
I'm Jawan Johnson. Say Jennings all the time. Jawan Johnson and Olave is to start. And
Yes.
Devin Neal is the one probably here. But Miami's defensive, the linebackers, pretty good linebackers.
Yeah, Jordan Brooks.
They do have
probably have a lot of tackles.
And Dotson is another linebacker. They have good linebackers, and Devin Neal is not like a speed burner. But if you're gonna start Devin Neal, don't expect a huge.
It's funny,
game.
you guys do better. Excuse me. You guys do better with linebackers that you don't draft.
Yeah, that's good.
I think were both of them from Seattle.
And that's fine. Bring them on down. We don't care. Whatever. Put on the uniform, and now you're a Dolphin. Let's go.
Yeah.
So that's who we have for the Saints. And Tyler Shuck, listen. I'm saying you sit Tyler Shuck. If you are starting him, if you're trying to make your playoff push, guess what, people? You're in trouble.
Yeah, I'm one quarterback
You're in
leagues.
trouble.
Yeah, don't start.
Don't
Shuck.
start him. All right, the next game we have on the dock is Atlanta Falcons at the New York Jets. It looks like it. I don't think it's going to rain on Sunday. 38 degrees.
Yeah,
chilly.
it is going to rain on
It
Sunday.
is on-
It's supposed to rain on
All
Sunday.
right, then you know what? Check your weather reports before the game begins. So if it does rain, Brees Hall is the one to start out there. Tyrod Taylor. Listen, Tyrod Taylor has won me a championship years ago when he was Buffalo
Oh my God,
Bills.
we have to hear
But
this.
that
How many
being-
times we have to hear this?
I'm going to tell you again. That being said, he is a sneaky start out there. He gives you a run. He'll give you rushing yards.
No, what he gives you
And he-
is a legitimate passer.
Yes, and that being said, he may give you a touchdown or two. And I'm not saying he's going to run for a touchdown, but he may give you some rushing yards. So if you're hurting at the quarterback position, if you lost Penix and you only have to start, and everyone holds quarterbacks,
I'll give you a hot take. I'd rather start
him than Jordan Love.
No, Tyler Shuck.
Yes, Tyrod Taylor.
Tyrod Taylor over Shuck.
I would start Tyrod Taylor over Shuck, 100%. The wide receiver position, listen, Mr.
John Mechie.
came out yesterday. Last week he came out. So he is a nice little streamer if you're really hurting at the wide receiver position. I really thought it was going to be Mitchell, but it was Mechie before Mitchell. They're getting peppered. And Mason Taylor is a streaming tight end because he actually does throw it to the tight end. He throws it to him, whereas the Fields wouldn't even look his way.
The fact that you can get looks to 3 guys, all right? So you have Mitchell, Mechie, and all M's, the killer M's, the M&M boys maybe. But listen, the fact that he can that Taylor can drop back and actually go through progression of his reads to actually look at 3 guys is so much different than Fields.
Fields was the one first look and run. All right, on the Atlanta side of the football, you want to talk about Atlanta here?
Well, you're starting Bijan, and the Jets defense isn't what it was
not
in
that
the
bad.
beginning of the year. It's not bad, but
not
you still,
bad.
I think, you're starting Bijan with a little bit more confidence this week.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Drake London's going to play.
I think they already
I
ruled
think
him out.
right now he's doubtful. I think they're probably going to rule him out. So what it's going to get you is going to be the same type of game you got from them last week, in my opinion. You're going to start Kirk Cousins, but you're not going to expect much. You're going to hope for a deep pass like Mooney got. He only had 3 catches, but he had one long one for a touchdown. You might get one of those, but you're not getting any consistent gameplay out of Atlanta, and the only guy that you would feel confident starting would be Bijan, and I think it's plug and pray for everyone else.
Yeah, because Kyle Pitts is not getting the ball at all.
No, he's not, and
He's
Mooney's not getting anything
No.
consistently, and Kirk Cousins is not the same quarterback he was a couple years ago,
Nope.
and I just don't see them sustaining much.
Yeah, I agree with you on Atlanta. All right, next game's at the Cardinals at the Buccaneers. It's in Tampa Bay, Florida. So 79 degrees. So check your weather again, like I always say. Let's talk about the Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield is nursing an injury, his shoulder injury. I don't know how that's going to really affect his passing game. If it does, if they look to run the ball, hopefully Bucky Irvin does come back. For a lot of you owners that have been waiting for Bucky Irvin. However, like you just said off the air, Bucky Irvin, you might come in, but are they going to ease him in?
You might have
slowly?
to temper expectations this week with Bucky. If you don't have any other choice, if it's between, again, like I said off the air, if it's between Bucky and Bashul Tutin, you're starting Bucky.
I agree.
If it's between Bucky and Javonte Williams, you're starting Javonte Williams.
Yeah.
If it's between Bucky and J.K. Dobbins,
Well,
I think
J.K.'s not playing. He's out for the year.
I'm sorry. I meant R.J. Harvey.
Harvey. I agree.
I
agree.
I think there you still got to go Harvey. He's a starter, but I think he's not hampered by just coming back from an injury and he's been out 5 weeks.
My only thing is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, what are they, 6-5, and now they're losing the grip on the division. So I think, in my opinion, I say you start Bucky with a little confidence.
You have to start him, yes.
Yeah, and then on the wide receiver position, Godwin got a couple of targets. Egbuka, depending on Baker Mayfield how he is with that shoulder, you're gonna have to taper expectation with Egbuka and Godwin.
Well, and you definitely temper your expectations with every wide receiver if Baker does not play and it's Teddy Bridgewater.
I agree.
Who's not a bad backup. He can survive and guide the
terrible.
team.
It's terrible. He's terrible.
It's better than having I don't know. I would start Bridgewater over Shuck this week, actually.
What I'm saying is with those wide, especially that your games mean so much these last 2 weeks. You have to really think about whether you're going to start Egbuka and Godwin. If you have someone else on your bench with a better quarterback play, but most likely gives you less points than Egbuka got you all year, you're really going to have to think about starting that other individual.
I feel more confident, even though he's coming back from a long layoff, starting Bucky over Egbuka, Godwin, or Tez Johnson.
Yes. All right, and the Arizona side of the football, wow, Air Coryell is back. Brissett, you are starting. He's airing the ball out, that offense. I'm not sure if Marvin Harrison returns this week again, one more week. Most likely it's next week.
He's not the number one on the team anyway.
Wow, whoa. Slow your roll.
Michael Wilson's number
Slow
one.
your roll. So Michael Wilson has been the number one, so he hasn't been there. But I think if he comes back, they're both going to get targeted just as much because, like someone said, that being they can't double team Marvin Harrison this time. All right, who are you going to pick your poison? It doesn't matter. He's airing the ball out. Trey McBride's a must start. If no Harrison, Wilson's obviously he's been a must start. He's been pretty much phenomenally the last 2 weeks.
Right, and then I know Greg Dortch was a little bit of a hot waiver wire pickup because he did play well this past week. I can't say that you started with any confidence, but it's definitely those other two. Running back wise, I don't know if Benson's playing. It doesn't look like he is. So,
well, I was going to say something about Benson. If Benson does play, do they throw the ball 40, 50 times? I think they want to control the clock. They don't have a run game, in my opinion. That's the reason why they've been throwing the ball.
They came out throwing last week. They know that they don't have a run game.
But if Benson does come back, does it now would they utilize the run a little bit more so it'll hurt their wide receiver?
I understand what you're saying, and that's a good point. Something to consider. My question would be how much you play Benson coming off of a 5-week layoff.
That's true too. But again, if you're a Benson owner and you listen. Again, there's a lot of running backs. Everyone's thin at running backs, and if you have them, I'm gonna suggest you're gonna start him because people were starting Bam Knight as a starter. Yeah, I'd rather have Benson than Bam Knight.
I agree.
All right. Next game is the Rams at the Carolina Panthers in Carolina. 47 degrees, 5 mile per hour winds out of southwest, 20% chance of rain. The Carolina Panthers here. Wow. Listen, they're playing the Rams. The Rams defense has been phenomenal. Bryce Young, in my opinion, is a sit this week. In my opinion.
Yeah.
All right.
At home.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm sitting Bryce Young against the Rams defense. The Rams are gonna be up. Okay, they're going to be up. It's going to force Bryce Young to throw the ball a lot.
Would you start Tyrod Taylor or Teddy Bridgewater over?
I wouldn't start Teddy Bridgewater. I would start Tyrod Taylor over Bryce Young this week. Yes,
all right. Well, listen, I'm not going to go that far. I'd say you still start Bryce Young. You start in Tet, And
Ted, if he can get him the ball, their pass rush is phenomenal as well. If he can get it, you're going to start Ted or McMillan
Yes.
anyway. I understand that, but all I'm saying is against this defense, you're going to start him because he got you. He got you the way you are right now.
Overall, whoever you're starting from Carolina, the big names, Dowdell, Ted, and Bryce, temper expectations. Even though they're playing in Carolina, that's
And with the Rams,
it's just the Rams defense is really good,
Yeah.
and with the Rams on offense,
they forget it. I mean,
they kind of blow people out in the first half, and they don't have to look back.
listen, this guy is. It's like he's playing, chess, and everyone else is playing checkers. I mean, this guy's phenomenal. Matthew Stafford can see the whole field with his eyes closed. He really can.
Oh, another commissionerism.
It is. He's playing.
He
Listen,
can see the whole field with his eyes closed.
this guy can play blind, and he's getting these guys hitting him in stride. Puka's a must-start. Maz Adams is a must-start. Cody Parkinson, if you need a tight end, he's been playing well. He's incorporated into this offense. And Kyron and Blake Corum, listen, it's 50. It seems like, even though I know it isn't a 50-50, so it's more like 60-40, but they both get the ball. Kyron hasn't been Kyron the way he was last year. They want to keep him healthy. I think when they progress more and more into the season or late in the season, I think they
will unleash him.
I think they will unleash him. So you're still going to see the same thing, but you're still going to put him out there. He might get you one touchdown, but that game is everything. It gears towards Stafford in the passing game, and those guys are must-starts. All right. Anything else?
No, I agree with everything.
All right.
Just said.
Minnesota Vikings at the Seahawks. Okay. 45 degrees. 2 mile per hour winds. 18% chance of rain. I don't think it rains in Seattle. I'll talk about Minnesota.
Yeah, go ahead.
Minnesota's starting a rookie quarterback, an undrafted quarterback against the Seattle defense. And Seattle is.
Can he do worse
well,
than
listen.
J.J. McCarthy?
Well, we'll see what happens. I think the running game is going to be called upon more this game. At least they're going to try to run the ball more. I think they're going to be down a lot. They're going to force the undrafted quarterback to throw the ball more. Might make a lot of mistakes out there. And you're going to see a couple of picks. All right, with this defense. Who to start with Minnesota? I hate to say this, but you got to temper expectation with Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
He is a star, but you got to temper expectation. Do you throw him out there? You're going to have to throw him out there because there's always that chance that one touchdown catch, red zone catch, whatever it may be. All right. Addison, I don't think you start
you
Addison.
sit Addison.
Yeah.
I think you can.
And Naylor you sit.
Right, the only wide receiver you're starting is JJ. Mm-hmm. You're throwing. I would throw out Hawkinson because they usually say that tight ends are a rookie quarterback's best friend.
I think it's the running backs. They're going to try.
Yes, I would say that. But Seattle's got a good line, and I don't know how effective the running backs are going to be unless they pass the ball more out of the backfield, in which case it's not going to be Jordan Mason because he's not a guy who catches the ball out of the backfield. It would be Aaron Jones.
Fair. And with the Seattle side of the football, we all know
this is
Mr.
going to
Everything.
But this is going to be one of those games where it's going to be hyper efficient again. You might get, Sam Darnold only throwing 12 passes again.
Yeah, I agree with you, but the Minnesota's defense is not that bad. However, they're used to playing some tough defenses, a la the LA Rams, and they kept it close. However, I think Sam Darnold is going to, like you said, if you got to start Sam Darnold, I say he might throw 15 passes, and all those 15 targets are going to go to JSN.
They'll go to JSN, yeah.
JSN is...
And we all go home.
Yeah, he's the must-start. Kenny Walker is probably going to get the start.
He's getting more involved, especially in the passing game, which is good to see for number 9 owners. So I think you're going to see a little bit more running in the game from Seattle. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be JSN and AJ Barner.
That's it. Those are the only ones out there.
That's the only ones I would trust out there. Shaheed against Minnesota's defense? I don't know.
No, he hasn't been. Listen, I think they got Shaheed just to clear out the middle for JSN. That's me.
Well, it's working.
It has been working. He's doing a lot of cardio out there with the Seahawks. And Sex Charbonnet might get you one touchdown. Could be a flex worthy if you're really hurting at the running back position. You have him and you're looking to start him and you have nobody else. He might put you plug and pray in there and to get you a touchdown in there. Or if they're up by a lot, they give him more playing time. That's what we have on that game. Next game is the Buffalo Bills at the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pitt. Okay, Buffalo is coming off a loss, and usually when they come off a loss, they usually they won last week. Did I remember? No, they lost. Well, they won. I can't remember. Wow, I'm getting old. Getting old, people. Don't get old. All right, let's just talk about the game.
Josh Allen was hurt.
So, Pittsburgh Steelers. I'll talk about the Steelers. Aaron Rodgers is participating in practice. I don't know if he plays. If he does play, all right, he can't. Listen, man, I don't know why they would put a 41-year-old, 42-year-old quarterback out there to brace himself against this pass rush. It's not like a super pass rush with Cornelius Bennett back in the day, all right, or Bruce Smith. But, they can get after the quarterback, and he's going to have to push off or hand off or protect himself out there. I don't know. You might get Mason Rudolph again. If Mason Rudolph does play, the two running backs are a must start, Kenny Gainwell and Jalen Warren. And DK Metcalf gets fed the ball more with Mason Rudolph than he does, from my opinion, than Aaron Rodgers. When Aaron Rodgers is in the game, the tight ends get the ball more. When Mason Rudolph's in the game, DK Metcalf gets the ball. So we'll see what happens.
So, Buffalo, they signed Brandon Cooks. That's how bad that wide receiver room must be.
Well, they let go of Elijah Moore as well. They waived him.
They haven't been playing Keon Coleman.
Well, he doesn't deserve to play.
I'm just saying, this is how bad it is that you got to sign a 31, 32-year-old.
Well, he won't be available. If you got to sign...
Brandon Cooks might be older than that, but...
Yeah, if you're playing Brandon Cooks, you're going to pick him up, then you are in super trouble right there.
Well, yes, and they were in super trouble last week, but they did play a very tough Houston defense, and that's the reason why they lost.
Okay.
They were in Houston.
They played them tough, but their defense was even Houston.
But Buffalo doesn't have enough firepower right now.
No, they have no
outside of
receivers.
James Cook and Khalil Shakir, they're really, the Kincaid injury hurt them a lot.
Yeah.
Josh Allen can't get, he got sacked a bunch of times.
8 times, yeah.
So, you can't, you're going to take a punishment like that. So, you're starting Josh Allen, you're starting Shakir, you're starting James Cook.
That's it.
And that's about it.
I agree. All right. You want to add anything with the Steelers besides what I said?
No, you said it right.
Okay, good. All right. Next game is the woeful Raiders at the Chargers. All right.
Well, you almost could say the woeful Chargers, the way they played before they went on their bye in Tennessee.
I get it, but they're still the Chargers. They still have some firepower. They still have guys who are prideful. They're professionals.
Was it Tennessee?
They're professionals. I think they're going to do all right, especially like you said, all world, all God, Justin Herbert out there. He can do well.
All world, all God.
You know
what? Listen, I don't care what you say. I still think the Dolphins should have drafted Herbert over Tua, but I always said time will tell about their careers.
All right, that will be time if they both. It seems to me that Herbert has never won a playoff game like Tua, so I don't want to hear it. Okay. So let's talk about the Raiders. The Raiders are awful.
I don't know what your excuse is going to be after
Awful.
Herbert wins a playoff game.
Well, nothing. I'll see what he does.
Yeah.
Raiders, you're not starting Geno Smith. Ashton Genty is nursing an ankle injury, so we'll see how that goes. All right. The linebackers for the Chargers are pretty decent, especially with Khalil Mack. They have a decent defense out there with Derwin James. Hanley out there is the middle linebacker. Khalil Mack's going after the quarterback, and Geno Smith is awful.
You're starting no Raider.
No Raider. Even Brock Bowers, believe it or not, he tries to get him the ball. You watch the games. They fired their offensive coordinator. I don't know what their new offensive system is going to be. But with Chip Kelly, they were pushing Brock Bowers to play the wide receiver position. He would always line up at the wide receiver position with the two little wide receivers, Tyler Lockett, the old wide receiver, and then Tucker. Geno Smith overthrew him a couple of times. He would have had at least a touchdown.
All right, in the end, I'm exaggerating when I say you can't start any Raider. Obviously, if Genty's playing, you're starting Genty because they are throwing the ball to him in the backfield. That's points. And you are starting Brock Bowers. But outside of that, you start no one else. There's no one startable.
Nope.
And on the Chargers side, this is them coming back off of a bye week. I don't know if you would hope to think that it's not like they got cavalry coming in the offensive line. So you kind of hope that they figured out some way to protect Herbert a little bit more. I'm just doing some average research. You could find out that the last 2 games that Herbert's playing, his average depth of target was 4 yards and 3 yards.
That's horrible.
That's just passing to the back out of the backfield.
That's horrible.
That being said, if he can't throw the ball downfield, it kind of obviously Ladd is a must start.
Yeah.
But outside of that, you can't feel confidence in QJ or Keenan Allen or
Aronde Gatson.
Aronde Gatson. And then Kamani Vidal is going to be if everything's so close to the line, he's not going to get any running lanes to go through.
But you're getting
himself.
Hampton back, or Marion Hampton, but he's going to ease him in, correct?
They opened the practice window. There's no guarantee that he's going to play this Sunday. So monitor. But even with him, I say you take the same approach as Bucky, which is they're not going to give him a full complement of touches his first week back. But it doesn't matter if they did or didn't if Herbert and they haven't figured out the offensive line woes a little bit. Herbert needs a little bit more time. At least give him 2 seconds. He needs at least 6 yards per pass attempt to be of any consequence. So
yeah,
I say you're still starting Herbert though, and you're still starting Ladd. And everyone else you temper expectations with.
All right, that's fair. All right, next game is Denver Broncos at the Washington Commanders. In Washington, semi-power winds, 40% chance of rain. Check your weather. The Washington side of the football, Jaden Daniels is practicing. I don't know if they put him out there one more week.
I don't think he's been medically cleared yet.
And I think Terry McLaurin is practicing again. I'm not sure if he starts, but if he does, if you decide to play him against Denver, you better temper expectations with Terry McLaurin.
Yeah.
All right. Debo is probably the only one to start out there. The tight end, Zach Ertz, might get a couple of passes here and there. Chris Rodriguez, I don't think does well. I don't think you start him. And Bill is disappeared. I don't even know where he is.
Yeah, and this wouldn't be the game that he comes back to life anyway, not against Denver's defense.
And Marcus Mariota, listen, he'll give you some rushing yards if you're really in a pinch or really in a pickle for a quarterback. Marcus Mariota isn't a bad start. Okay, is he going to give you 25? No, but he'll give you some sort of type of points, especially with his running prowess. All right, and the Denver side of the football,
I think you're starting R.J. Harvey. I think he's a must start. I think Bo Nix is a must start. I think
what wide receiver?
Troy Franklin.
Yeah,
I you have to start Courtland Sutton if you're a Courtland Sutton owner. You have to throw him out there. I just don't. He hasn't been the.
He hasn't been
the primary guy the last few games, so I would start Troy. I would feel more confident starting Troy as a flex or as a third wide receiver. But I feel like in this, I think they're going to try to run the ball a little bit more and establish the run.
Yeah, so do I. Don't forget about McLaughlin out there. I don't think R.J. Howard's going to get all the carries out there. So McLaughlin's a little streamy, little running back. If he's on the waiver wire to pick up, just put it on your bench and you can stash him and then see how they play him this week. Because his first game was last week. He was activated before the bye, and this is the week that he's going to come back. And let's see how they utilize him after 2 weeks of practicing with the first team offense. So we'll see what happens with him.
Yeah, and then the other two wide receivers that Denver usually trots out there, Marvin Mims and Pat Bryant, I think you temper expectations with them. I don't know what you're really going to get out of them.
Marvin Mims looks like he's on the outside looking in.
Yeah, but I mean, you have to mention them because they're part of their usual complement of receivers. I don't know if they're going to have it. It's a plug and pray with those guys.
Plug and pray. Okay, and the last game we have on the docket here
Monday night.
New York Football Giants at the New England Patriots. It looks like it might be a chance of snow. Let it snow.
Yeah.
So that being said,
perfect game for them.
If snow is out there, you know what that means. You're going to be clicking on the TV. You're going to watch Jackson Dart with his hair flowing, with his ice showing.
Yeah, paint the picture,
he's
Commissioner.
Have
Go ahead.
He's going to have the ice showing. He's going to have that little mark, that little black mark on his face, and he's going to go to field. Listen,
I can see it now.
He's a competitor. I'm sorry, he is.
Yes.
He's gonna. And guess what? I don't care if you tell me anything. And they keep telling don't run out the pocket. He's gonna run out the pocket. That is his game.
Listen,
it's going to be instinctive.
They're not telling him. I don't think they're telling him not to run out the pocket. I think what they're telling him is
slide.
Slide, go out of bounds. Just don't decide to take on three guys. A linebacker and a defensive end and a safety. That's only going to get you hurt and it's going to put you in the blue medical tent again.
Yeah,
you need longevity and the hope that they have for him for the future. He has a responsibility to take care of himself.
Well, if you can't take care of himself, then they're going to try to take care of him for him.
And they will, too. You're right. But I think this is going to be a very entertaining game, especially if it does snow.
You want to talk about your Giants?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think you're 100% right. Competitiveness. Jackson Dart's going to come out there.
Yep.
Not that Jameson wasn't competitive.
Oh, Jameson.
He's entertaining as hell.
I love Jameson. He's fantastic. His listen, those Winstonisms are fantastic.
Yes, I agree. I hope they sign him for to be back up again next year.
Yeah, he's fun. he's
But
fun.
for this game, if Jackson Dart plays, I expect a competitive game. I think Theo Johnson is worthy of a guy that you should be probably a top 5 tight end for the week.
Yeah.
Because he featured him a lot when he was playing.
He sure did.
Before he went out with the concussion. Wandell, I think, is a must start. Darius Slayton is plug and pray because he might get a couple of deep passes, but I think consistent targets is going to go to Wandell. I know with Jameis Winston, the running backs, especially Tyrone Tracy, they use them. Now, I don't know if that's a byproduct of Jameis's gameplay as opposed to the play calling with Mike Kafka. If it's a play calling thing with Mike Kafka, then Tyrone Tracy is a startable running back this week. And I think in a game that they're going to be chasing points with New England and Drake May and their offense, I think Tyrone Tracy is a must start.
I agree with you, and I also agree that Singletary, believe it or not, is worthy of a flex option because I believe he might get a touchdown in the red zone.
He is their goal line guy.
I do.
So, yeah.
I feel as though he's a startable individual right there. And
I would start Tracy over him though. But
Yeah.
you're right. He's going to be. He could get into those situations where he'd have 2 goal line carries.
Yes.
He might only have like 15 yards rushing for the game, but he'll have 2 touchdowns.
I agree. And with the New England side of the ball, Drake May is a must-start against this porous Giant defense. However, they fired the defensive coordinator, so we'll see how they utilize how this new defensive coordinator does. You might see more blitz in this game, and they say, forget it. Let's see you try to air it out. Let's just see.
You might. Let's
see.
Yeah, off the air, I've been complaining about this for weeks. I said the Shane Bowen system may work for a bunch of guys that you need to. It's a bend but don't break defense. Not a lot of blitzing goes on there, and it's for a team. And this is no disrespect to any other team that he's coached defensively, but it's for a team without elite talent.
Yeah.
All right. It's a make good to make everyone on the same page. This is the second highest paid defense in the league. They certainly have. They have the second to worst defense in the league.
Yeah, but you have some good pass rushers out there, and they don't. For some reason, they don't help them out whatsoever. I think I see more blitz in this game. Drake May is going to be a must start. If they do blitz a lot, I think Hendo is going to do well this game. Travion Henderson is a must start out there.
Well, listen, he's a must start.
Yeah.
But his offensive line they sustained 2 injuries.
I understand.
So it's going to be one of those situations where he might run 4 or 5 times and not get too much yardage and then break one big.
But I think he's going to get the ball at the backfield a little bit more, in my opinion, because they're going to blitz it. Drake May is going to recognize it and going to throw the ball to Henderson.
We'll see, because he hasn't done that too much. I mean, he does pass. Not enough for my taste.
Okay.
Do you throw the ball to the back out of the backfield?
Well,
to
a lot
Hendo.
of teams don't do that.
Right, but there's a lot more opportunity there. But Drake May does like to push the ball downfield,
Yeah.
and the Giants secondary is probably the weakest part of their team.
So listen, he utilized Hunter Henry a lot last week.
And I don't think that.
That was the first game. First game he came back and he utilized him a lot. We couldn't believe it. Like, what is it? Tight end day? I thought that was weeks ago. It was like last week for
But
New
we
England.
always did say, what is it going to be? Whack-a-mole with is it going to? And it wasn't a lot of wide receivers last week. It was all tight end, it was all Hunter Henry. But the Giants are traditionally horrible against tight ends. This might be another Hunter Henry week.
And that's fine. Diggs is you're gonna trot Diggs out there because of the potential of him getting high volume or maybe a touchdown. Kayshon Boutte is gonna come back. I'm not sure he's more of the deep threat. I don't think they're gonna throw.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how bad it snows.
Let's see. All right. So Kayshon Boutte, you temper expectations. Stephon Diggs, you start Hunter Henry, you start Hendo, and you start Drake May. That's what we have. Anything else to add on that? Nope, we don't. So. Again, that is all for the games of week number 13. Good luck with all your games. I know there's a lot of owners out there. The leagues, you have 5 and 6 teams, 7 and 5 teams, 9 and 2 teams, 9 and 3 teams, whatever, 8 and 4 teams vying for that bye or pushing for that bye. Do your best to field a competitive team, and everyone who's out there, try to. If you're not going to make the playoffs, try to bring somebody in with you. Don't if you're not going to make the playoffs, bring a friend. That's what I'm trying to do. All right, so. Good luck on your game, week 13. Hopefully you enjoy the program. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. We always comment, or I always comment, and we really do appreciate you guys listening. Good luck, unless you're playing the co-commissioner myself. Till next week.
Happy Thanksgiving,
Happy
everyone.
Thanksgiving. Take care, guys. Bye.